record and just maybe say a little bit of thing about PIC. I mean, probably most of you have said PIC previously because most of the time she's spending at Monash rather than Melbourne. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I mean, the reason why we invited PIC to give a talk about peer reviewing is that she's really a very good peer reviewer, and as demonstrated by a lot of like peer review awards from the top conferences like ASE, ICMCE. I think she has received many such kind of distinguished reviewer awards. And I think there must be some secrets there, right? So that's why we organized this workshop and trying to let PIC share the secrets that she gets. So both of all of us can learn from her, and especially for the PhD students. I mean, currently you may not get a lot of experience to do peer review, but since you are kind of academic students, peer review is one of the most important jobs you probably will face in your future career. And it's good to learn those secrets as early as possible, I believe. So without further ado, I'd like to invite PIC to start the presentation. So
Okay,
PIC, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me for the talk, and I'm very happy to talk about the peer reviews. So let me introduce myself again. My name is Big, and I'm a lecturer at the University of Melbourne, and the picture here is the view of the University of Melbourne. So if you haven't visited there yet, so I highly recommend because we have lots of heritage buildings and good for photos. And so a quick introduction about me. My research is about code reviews or like investigate about quality impacting practices in software development and management and focus on the code reviews. And if you don't know what is code review is, you can think about in a general cycle of the software development, there is a code review happen all the times during alongside with the testing and writing code. And my research is more focused on trying to understand what are the best practices of doing code review and how can we do with the minimum effort, and is there any factors that can influence the practice, and can we use the historical data to learn and tell us what is the mistake and what can we do more. So that is about code review, about my research. But today, I'm not going to talk about code reviews. I'm going to talk about academic peer review or the paper review in the software engineering venues. And before I start, like any other papers, we have a threat to validity, and I have that for my presentation as well. So the slides are mainly based on my personal experience, which I'm doing only the empirical study. So if only one person thought, then the content does not represent the thought of all the reviewers in the community, but it can give you some hint or something that you can think further. And the content may be subjective because it's just from my opinion, and it cannot be generalized to all areas in the software engineering. So I'm more focused on empirical study, empirical research. And I just finished my slides 15 minutes ago. So if you find some mistakes, I'm sorry. So please forgive me about that. Okay. So before I start talking about the paper peer reviews, let me get more understanding about you. Like, are you interested in doing a paper reviews? What do you think? Can you give me some answers so then I know which angle should I emphasize? So to participate, please go to poev.com/uniquemail.se. And let me know if there's someone already select the answer. Yeah, feel free to say no. I'm very, I want to see those people as well, because then I know how hard should I convince you. So everyone interested in doing the paper peer review. Cool. I think that's all, right? We have about only 14 people here. And can I move? So most of you want to do peer reviews and some of you not sure yet. So I think the talk today will try to convince the people on the not sure side to go to the yes side, okay? So the next questions, have you done paper reviews before? So, wow, many of you are very experienced here. Okay, so that's good, pretty good. So then I think after this presentation, we will have a lot of discussions about what is a good reviews and how do we do, because uh, some of you already have experience here. Okay, that's good. So then now it's time to convince the people who are not sure yet. So why do I need, or why do you need to know or involve in the academic peer reviews? So my answer is that when you being a reviewer, you know that what are the common concerns of the reviewers. It's not only from your concerns, but you can see other people concerns. So then when you write your own papers, you know that these concerns gonna happen in your paper, and then you can fix it, you can improve it before it's sent to the reviewer. So that means it can improve the chance that of your paper get accepted, right? So then the more you involve in the peer review process, the more concerns that you know, and then you can improve your paper. And if you are a reviewer, now you know and you understand how pain the reviewer is when they read your paper. Sometimes you think, oh, your paper is very good, like you have like a big contribution, you have like a important findings that you want to share to the world. But then when you write the paper and it's very hard to follow, then no one will appreciate that. So to understand that feeling, being a reviewer will give you that feeling. And then once you know that, oh, I have been pained by reading this paper before, so then you know how should you write the paper to be easy to read and help the reader and make the reader happy, right? And being a reviewer also helps you to keep up with the recent literatures. So it's not about the paper that under reviews, but when you read the papers, you see what other papers that they cite. So then you know what happens in the communities when you, because sometimes when you do the research, you focus on your own work, and then you might not have time to look or check for the recent literature, right? But if you are reviewers, you know what happened, you see what are people citing, and then you know what's the current state of the work. And moreover, if you have if you are good luck enough, you will have a chance to read the top-notch papers. Like you can see a very good examples of the work that it will be get accepted, and you know how should you write the paper, what is the standard that you should follow, right? If you are the reviewers. So hopefully for the not sure side, I hope that you can see some benefits of being a viewer, even though it's quite lots of work and take times, but trying to take a benefit from that, and then it will help you a lot for your own papers. And some of you might think, I'm too young, I can't be a good viewer, right? So what I want to say, I want to give myself as an example. So I'm an early career researcher as well. I just graduated 4 years ago, and I started to be a PC member or a journal reviewer since 2017. I have only 11 full-length peer-reviewed publications in a conference and journal, which is quite a small number compared to the other people. But regardless, um, my profile, which is like not like like a sophisticated profile. I am a reviewer board of TOSEM. I received the Distinguished Reviewers or PC Members Award at ICSME 2017, ICSE 2020, ANC 2020, and FSC 2020. But more than that, for all of these 4 conferences that I got the awards, it was my first time as a PC member. So what I want to say here, I'm not trying to brag that I'm a good reviewer, but what I want to tell you is that young PC member doesn't mean a bad reviewer. You can be a good reviewer, but at least you should have some research experience to be able to write a review. So don't be underestimate yourself. You can be a good reviewer. You can do a good review as well. And what is the general view of the peer review process in software engineering? Some of you might not know the whole process, what we are doing. In the software engineering, especially in a conference, when you submit the paper, the first thing what happened is the PC chairs will go through your paper and everyone's paper to check some violation to the rules or the policies. And if something that violate the policies, they will do a desk reject. Okay, and after that, the PC chairs will ask the PC members to bid or select the paper that they want to review. So basically, we just put the score that I want to read this, I don't want to read that, something like that. And based on that score, the PC chair will assign the papers to the reviewers or the PC members. And then the PC members start to review the paper, write the comments. And in some conference and in some tracks, the author will have a chance to look at the review comments before the decision is made, and then they can also write some response to the reviewer comments to make some clarifications and address or clarify some misunderstanding of the reviewers. And after that, the PC members will discuss and make a decision whether the paper should be accepted or rejected. So this is a general view of the peer review process in a software engineering conference. And I think it's pretty similar for the journal as well. For the journal, we just don't have the discussions, and the AE, the associate editor, will make a decisions based on the reviewer comments. And I think nowadays the criteria is quite common and similar to all the conference in software engineering. We have 5 criteria for reviewing the paper, which is the soundness and significance, novelty, verifiability, and presentations. So let's take a look into each criterion here. So in the soundness, the definition is the extent to which the paper's contributions are supported by rigorous application of appropriate research methods. What does it mean, right? So for me, it takes some time to understand that as well. But for me, my own interpretation is that are the study, design, methods, evaluation, rigorous and sounded. This is my criteria when review the paper. So when I look at the paper, there are a couple questions that will be in my head when I read the paper. So the questions could be like, is there anything that could potentially lead to faulty results or faulty outcomes? Or if this part will significantly change the results? Or is there anything that could potentially change the empirical findings? So if you do some empirical research to show some findings, show some observations, is there anything that if we fix this, then everything is totally changed? If that happens, I think this is a serious concern for the soundness. And the last question that I usually have is the choice of the design clearly justified, or is it convincing to me or not? Okay. So usually my comments will be like, is this unclear? Is this not convincing? Or this part is very concerned because it will impact this and this, right? My usual comments. And usually what I will look at the case study design, experiment, evaluation, or result sections. So these are the sections that I usually look when I write the comment about the soundness. So this is a view of the reviewer side. For the author of the paper, if you are writing the papers, now you know what the reviewer concerns and how should you write the paper, right? So when you write the case study design, make sure that is clear and then is rigorous and it doesn't bring some concern that can impact to the results, right? So then for the next criterion is significance. So but the definition is that significant is the extent to which the paper contributions are important with respect to open software engineering challenge. So in my interpretation, it means that how this work helps software engineering community, either helps the software engineering practitioners or helping the research community. Is there any significant how it helps, right? So then the set of the questions that usually pops in my mind is, does this work address an important problem in software engineering? Does the tool or the finding intuitively help practitioners or not? Or will it be useful for the future research? For example, like some of the work is may not directly help practitioners, but if we have something like this, then many work can use these techniques for many tool or many things for the practitioner in the next steps, right? So it's also useful and significant as well. So when I check for the significance, the sections that I usually look is the introduction sections, background, because I need to know about background, why it is important, right? And a discussion about why your work or the results or the findings are significant, and the conclusion, which is like an ultimate contribution of this work. So now you know that when you are the author and you know that where you should sell the significance, right? Then for the next criterion is novelty. So the definition is the extent to which the contribution is sufficiently original, is clearly explained with respect to the state of the art. So in my interpretation, it means how this work is different from the state of the art. And then the set of the questions in my mind usually like, what is the gap between this work and the prior work? Does the paper clearly discuss about that? And is it a significant gap? Is it a large enough for one full paper, right? And does the work address the significant limitation of the prior work, right? So it's not like just adding one step, which is doesn't help much or is not like a big problem in the prior work, then why do we need this work, right? So that's the view of the novelty. And then I usually still look at the introduction as well and related work section, especially this section, the related work section, because it's the section that you talk about the prior work, and you should highlight the gap. What is the difference? And then the reviewers will justify whether it's significant or not, or you should like sell very hard how it's significant, right? Similarly, for the discussion as well, sometimes you can talk about the novelty, like how your work is different from the prior, like how your findings are different from the findings of the prior works, how it's complement, how it's complete the theory or the practice, right? You can also mention that in the discussion section as well. And the fourth criterion is verifiability. So the definition is the extent to which the paper includes sufficient information to support independent verification or replication of the paper claimed contributions. So in my interpretation, I think it means, can I replicate this work if I want to? That's the thing that I want to check when I review the paper. And usually the set of the questions in my mind will be, is there any key step that lacks the detail, or in general, the detail of the method and design is sufficient and clear, right? So it doesn't mean about the replication package or like, oh, we provide replication package and then it's done. For me, I feel that it's good to have, but the paper itself should clear enough for us to understand what is the method, what is the technique, what is the methodology that you are doing, right? So then when we read the paper, we can follow and we can replicate that. So that's is my interpretation for the verifiability, but some reviewers also concerns about the replication package as well. So it really depends on the other people, okay? And usually when I want to evaluate in these criteria, I will look at the case study design or experiment or the evaluation and the result sections. So very similar to the soundness as well. And then the last criterion is the presentations. So the definition is the extent to which the paper's quality of writing meets the high standards, including clear description, explanation, or absence of major ambiguity, something like that. So I want in this aspect, in my interpretation is the paper well written, well structured, and easy to follow or not? And usually some set of questions that pops in my mind would be like, if the content is organized in a logical order, can I grasp some key message in each paragraph or in each sections? And is the complex part accompanied with a visual representations? So a suggestion for the author of the papers, I would say reviewers doesn't have much time to review your paper. So presentation is actually the first thing, the first impression that the reviewer will have for your paper. So you can like the picture that I had put in here. I put the beautiful cakes, right? What I want to say is that it looks beautiful, but you don't know the taste. But by looking, you can feel that it must taste good, right? It is the same thing as a paper. If you have a good structure of the paper, you have a well written or like well structured, then the people can have a good impression of your paper that, oh, I want to read this paper. I think this is a good paper. The author is very careful, right? And then they can, instead of they get annoyed with the writing, they start to look into the details and give more feedback or look into other aspect, right? So so usually when I want to evaluate these sections, I just look for the whole paper. And as I said, it's very competitive, and reviewing, especially like ICSE, top conference, FSE, SE, is very competitive. It's only like below 20% of paper get accepted. So what I want to say is one mistake can send you home. It's like any competitions that we have. So you need the perfection in any aspect, and you can be killed by any point, even though like you have a very good design, but something that's some small mistake that you can make, you might get rejection, right? And this is a common thing that I observed when I do the review is most of the paper get rejected because of the poor presentation. But the reasons that the reviewers give is not about the presentations. In my personal opinion, I think it is because the presentation is very poor. So then the reviewer cannot get the detail, the details or the clarity of the works, which is lead to the verifiability concerns. And sometimes it also lead to the soundness concern, right? The paper lack of detail, I think this is not a good paper, right? The paper, the important part is missing, concerning that is the work is not reliable, something like that, right? So it's maybe sometimes you have a good design of the work, you have very sound work, but when you present, it's not clearly present, and then you got rejected because the reviewer thought that the work is not sound based on what you present to the reviewers, right? Similarly, due to the presentations, the reviewer can have a concerns about the novelty as well, because they cannot grasp the key message. Where is the novelty, right? And then they cannot grasp how do you highlight the gaps between your work and the prior work? How do you highlight the significance of your work if the presentation of your work, the paper is not logically structured, you just put like into many places, then they cannot grasp where is the significance, where is the novelty, and then you might got rejected. So this is like a like a very first step, a very how can I say,
Pre-check.
yeah, it's kind of pre-check, but I mean, it's like a level of difficulty to get in, right? So this is like a very first level of difficulty that if the reviewer can kick you out because you have a poor presentations, and it lead to many other concerns. But if you have a good presentations, well written, well structured, then it's the next step. Difficulty to get in terms of the design and verifiability and anything else, right? But for the presentations, it's the thing that you can do before you submit the paper. So I just want to say that some mistakes can be fixed early before you submit the paper, and it can save your time for 3 months for waiting for the results or for the comments that you already know, right? And then some of you might think, oh, there are so many things, so there are so many concerns. So how can I write a good paper then? There are so many ways that you can write a good paper, but since it is about the peer review, I would say if you can write a good review, then you can write a good paper as well, because you know what is the concerns, right? You know that how should you do, or what should you fix. So if you know what is the concerns, what should you fix, then it means that you can review your own paper. You know what's the concern of your papers, and then you should be able to fix your own paper, right? And then you might have a next question that, and then how can I write a good review then? So from my own experience is that I learned from my own reviewers, the reviewer of my papers. So I think I'm lucky enough to get many good reviews from the reviewers. So I can see that, oh, this is a good review. I like this one. It's very helpful. It's very constructive, right? So when I write my own reviews, I actually go back and look at those reviewers. Go back and look at those reviews and trying to follow that style. Okay, so my suggestion is, if you find some reviews that you like, then keep it. And when you write your own review, trying to follow that style, you can see what are their concerns, what are their suggestions, how do they write. You can follow that good example of the reviews. But if you have a bad experience about the reviews, then you can learn from that as well. My suggestion is you just do better than that, and you know what you want. As an author, you know what you want. So then when you write the reviews, you should write the reviews that the author that you want as well, right? So and I have a couple of reviews that I feel like it doesn't helpful, or I don't know what do they want, or it's not so unclear, right? So I take that pain that I have before and try to write the reviews that make sure that the author of those papers will not feel pain. At least I feel that you're not gonna blame me that I'm a bad reviewer, right? So I don't want to be that kind of reviewers that I used to blame before. So when I try to write the review, I'm trying to think of what kind of reviews that I want. So in my reviews, I'm trying to clearly explain why it is a concern. Like if you think this is a concern, if you say this is very poor, something like that, give a justifications and details, reference to the paper as much as I can. Like, or you saying like this is not correct because this and this, or it lead to the concerns, and if you do like that, it impact this and that, right? So clearly explain why do you think it is a concern. That what I'm trying to do when I write my own review. And I also trying to suggest the author how should they do to address my concerns. Because I have this, because I usually have the reviewer saying, complaining something, but I don't know what do they want, right? So how can I satisfy you? Just tell me I can do anything. That's my feeling when I got the reviewer reviews. So when I write my own reviews, I'm trying to say, oh, this is a concern. So I think you should do like this, right? So then you can avoid the concern, this and that. Okay, so that's my common practice when I write the reviews. And the last thing is I'm trying to detangle between the presentation and the other aspect. I'm trying to think, is it poor because of the writing or something else? Because I understand that writing is hard, especially for the non-native speaker, or like um, for the young researcher, it's very hard to make things logical. So I'm trying to think that, is it because the way that they say, so this make the work incorrect, or the design itself is incorrect, right? So if it is the presentations or it is about writing, then my review will talk about, or you should rephrase, or you should tone down, or you should do some this and that, right? But if it is the concerns on something else, then I'll talk about how it's impact in each aspect. That's my typical reviews. And recently there are so many things that talking about the good reviews as well, and this is some of the example. Andres Seller have made an April Fool Day project in 2019 and trying to raise concern about the shadow reviews, and he made the auto reject, which is a tool that you can select the options, and then it automatically generate the review for any kind of the papers. And he wants to take a concern, raise the concerns that some reviews take a very shallow and syntactical look into the paper, and it doesn't look into the implications or the details of the paper. And this concern is very similar to the recent talk by Prem Kumar Dewanbu in Birds of Feather in ICSE 2020 as well. So Prem talked about cheap shots, which is a very generic critique to a paper. So it doesn't well match with the specific context, or it doesn't, it can be applied to any kind of the paper. So this is the anti-patterns of the reviews, and which is, I think, is consistent with what I do, is that when I raise the concern, I give the justification. I'm trying to explain why it is a concern, why it is a major concern. So I'm trying, and when I read the paper, I'm trying to read all the sections in the paper. I'm trying to understand the paper. It's not like get a quick grasp of the paper and then get impression and then write the paper. I'm trying not to do like that, because I feel if I am the author, I feel very pain when I get those kind of reviews, and then I don't want to do that. So basically, I want to create a community that we make a good review, we make a good community for the research. And then there are so many things that you have to learn and so many things that you have to practice. Then you might have a question. So where can I learn about writing a good review, right? So my suggestion is that you can ask your supervisor to be a sub-reviewer. Your supervisor are one of the world famous researcher in software engineering. So they have lots of reviews paper to do. So I think you can ask them to try to do some of them, and hopefully they will be happy to share some of the paper to be a sub-reviewer for you. So then you can try to read the paper and trying to critique the paper, write the reviews, and you have your own supervisor to help you guide how to write a review. And then there is a talk at ICSE 2020 that I mentioned in a Bird of Feather reviewing software engineering research papers. I can share you the link later. So in that talk, there are many panels that talk about how should reviewing software engineering research papers. There are Peggy, Prem, Nino, and many top researchers talk about how to reviewing the software engineering paper. So you can have a look into the blog that May wrote in there, and then you can understand what is a good practice about writing reviews. And last but not least, there is a newly initiative about shadow PCs. It gives you a first-hand experience as a shadow PC at MSR 2021. So basically, you will become like a PC members, and you will read some of the papers that are submitted to MSR 2021 main track, and then you gain all the experience, how the PC member feels, how we bid the paper, how we write the paper, how we discuss. And during this program, you will be supervised and mentored by many experienced PC members like Serge and Foods. He will be the shadow PC advisors. And this program run by me and Ayushi this year. And I think this is a great opportunity for you if you want to try to be a reviewer and you want to be being engaged to the community. And moreover, if you write a good review, it gives you a higher chance to be the real PC member in the future. So it means you give more recognitions and more opportunity to learn more in the reviewing process and other papers in software engineering. So hopefully my talks today is useful, and it helps you to think that reviewing give you some benefits more than we think. So thank you very much and happy reviewing.
Thank you, Pik. And I also thank you to share the opportunities at MSR. I really encourage every student to apply for that. I think it will be a very good opportunity for you to actually get a sense how peer review works in software engineering venues. Maybe just a very quick clarifying question comments for me, and then the others can also ask questions. Pik, can you go back to the previous slide?
Previous slide, this one?
Yeah, no, yeah, here. Yeah, when I heard you say ask your supervisor to be a sub-reviewer, I'm shocked, right? Oh, suppose a supervisor has like, let's say 20 students, each of them give her or him a paper to review. They need to review 20 papers per time.
So I mean, let's say
I understand.
Yeah, no, I mean, so we as a supervisor or as a researchers, we have to review the paper anyway, right? So it's just give the opportunity to the student to review the paper.
I mean this sentence I read it in two different meanings. One is that the students to be a sub-reviewer for the supervisors. Another one is the supervisors to be the sub-reviewer of the student.
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it's the first one, not the second one.
Yeah. So
I think thank you.
Yeah. So I think we still get some times for some questions if you in the audience have any.
Yeah, maybe we can maybe we can ask someone can share your experience as well.
Should I stop sharing my screen?
You can keep sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advertise your shadow PC.
Yeah. Which is really a good opportunity.
Yeah, actually, I want to ask you a question. Hi, Pig. Just want to know how much time do you spend on reading a paper that you need to review, usually?
If it is a journal, I would take a whole day. if it is a conference paper, I think for easy, I also take almost whole day as well, including writing the reviews.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
it takes
guarantee
time.
that she spent a whole day to review papers and do nothing. Yeah. Just review papers. Way too long.
Sometimes it's too much. But again, I have some kind of, because I complain my reviewers so much, like I hate this review, I hate this who whatever they are, like why they hate me so much, something like that.
Maybe I'm one of them.
so that's why I don't want someone to feel hate me, like, even though I don't know who they are, but I don't want them to feel like that for my own reviews. So that's why I spend lots of time. It's good and bad, I think. The bad thing is I didn't do my research.
But I mean, at the same time, it reflects that you are a good paper writing as well. I mean, like you are good at that, right? Because you review, you write lots of good reviews. That means you pay lots of attention when you collaborate with others as well, like with your collaborators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like for example, like one of my paper, she collaborated with me. Whoa, yeah, she raised like way n million concerns. Yeah, I'm like, oh, thanks God, man. I mean, I'm lucky to get these kind of concerns before we send to the journal, right? Otherwise, it will take like forever.
Yeah. It's always good to have such a very regular, very solid comments before submission.
Yeah. And I mean, another case is that is like there is one paper that I submit to ICSI. That paper I make a draft, and then she raised a concern. The reviewer is going to ask something like this. And then when I get the notification, they ask the same question that you asked, and then it gets rejected. And then, okay, now we need to fix this immediately. Otherwise, it will go to the same pool of reviewers.
Yeah. That's also a good thing that you can learn from the reviewers to write your review and also to improve your paper submissions.
It was a great presentation, Pig. Thank you. And I was cringing. I have done that. I have said sample size too small. I have said, not too many cases. And I completely understand. It's because of course you can always say that, right? You can always say, no, but you should consider this other approach for comparison. So yeah, those are cheap shots and it takes so much time and I think on the examples that you mentioned about why reviewing, and I think you didn't put it there, but you said it later on, it's about contributing, right? Because we rely on this contribution, and it's about, making a good environment for all researchers, and, getting this feedback is crucial. So I think we all need to do that. I mean, and it's a lot of work, but it's great. So I learned, I kind of, now I'll keep those messages in my head when I review. So it was great.
Thank you. Yeah, I think as being like involved in the peer review, and then I can see that the reviews can change the direction of the research a lot, because we write a paper to satisfy the reviewers. We have to accept that. But then if the reviewers ask something that is not the main focus in the research, it's not the main contributions, then we are going to going to the towards the wrong direction or not. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I agree. One common concerns that I'm afraid at the moment is that every study, they ask for user study. I mean, every submission, reviewers often ask for user study, and sometimes I don't know, like, do we really need it? Like, I don't know. It's too much, right? Like we given a 12 pages, and reviewer asks for everything to be included in that 12 pages. It's like almost impossible. And there's one case in the ICSI at the moment. There's one paper that I gave 4 accept, and the other 2 reviewers gave weak reject. And I fight for this paper to get accepted because, to be honest, man, first, we cannot find the perfect paper in that conference. I mean, there's no single perfect paper. We need to accept some threads, and we cannot include everything in that 12 pages. And I don't know what are the reasons to reject that paper. So if anyone can find, like, is there any serious flaw in the paper, then I will tone down my score. Yeah. Sometimes I need to fight for acceptance as well. Try to be a good reviewer.
Yeah, that's good. Any other questions or comments? I mean, especially the PhD students, don't be shy. Yeah, maybe another clarification questions that now understand that Pick you spent like almost a day to review a paper. That's certainly improve the quality of the reviews. And normally when you write the reviews, do you have a specific requirements to write the length of the review? Like you say, it has to be over a page or over 2 pages or over 1,000 words, or do you set such kind of conditions for yourself, or it's just by whatever you goes with the review?
Yeah, I think it just goes by the what's the concerns that they have for the papers. If I like this paper very much, I will give lots of long reviews because I want to help and improve it. It's not like raising a concern, but like giving a suggestions. But if the paper is okay, and then I will mainly like put the concerns and write the justifications why. But usually when I do is I'm trying to reference what I mean, like which part in the paper that I concern and why. So like trying to make a direct map between the paper and my reviews. So then the author will understand, oh, this is because of this part is make reviewer feel some concern, something like that. So it's more about clarity and details that we give to the author. For me, yeah. Again, it's come from my pain because I get the way reverse.
Yeah. I think everyone knows how many rejections you will get. So
actually, I have one very quick question. So sometimes I receive major reviews, and there are major concerns and minor concerns, right? To ignore some minor concerns, or we have to address them all and treat them all the same?
I think as the reviewers, we prefer to get addressed all the concerns. We write the concerns, it means that we want it fixed. And if you ignore it, it makes me feels like especially me, like I put 1 day for your paper, right? So if you ignore my concerns, it feels like I just like spend time for nothing and you don't listen to me, right? So it's also discourage the reviewers. But if you address all the concerns and carefully address, I think the reviewer will happy, and then it shouldn't hard for you to get accepted, in my feeling. Yeah.
I think go ahead.
Do I answer your question? Sorry.
Maybe I used the wrong word. Not ignore, but maybe sometimes you do not agree with that concerns. For example, you have a solid justification why the reason why you plan not to address this concern or address it the other way.
Yeah.
It's worth fighting for it, or you just follow the reviewer the reviewer recommendation and just do what they say?
I think it really depends on the context. So sometimes reviewer can misunderstand your paper, and then you need to write a clarifications why that it should be like that, right? So so that's possibility. But if it is aligned with what you do, your work, and then it's just like a minor and like a additional analysis that the reviewers want to see, even though it doesn't give much contribution to your paper, to me, I would just do it, right? Or at least like do it and put in the response letter. So at least show them that is here, this is a result that you want to see to confirm something.
Yeah, I think it depends on the context as well. Sometimes I do not revise based on the reviewer suggestion. Let me give one example. Yeah, this is another N+1 comment from another paper that I have. So the reviewers tell me that, yeah, you work on the 20 datasets. It's too small. You need to make it larger. I'm like, how large is large? Okay. And one of my collaborators, he's a senior one. And then he said, no, this comment is like a freaking impossible. Like it's nonsense. And so what we respond to this comment, so we just say, so your concerns are, it's similar to any empirical studies. Even if we start from 1,000 projects, right? And we perform an iterative sampling of 20 projects, we will get the same result. So the key message of this work is like we would just want to say that there are some data sets that this kind of phenomenon exists, but we cannot claim to, draw any generalization to any software projects in the world anyway. Yeah. Sometimes we need experienced people to help us a little bit in fighting with the reviewers.
Okay. Yeah, I'll remember that reason and maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So time flies. Yeah, maybe we conclude here for the first talk. I will stop the recording now.